So I may or may not have already recorded this and didn't have my microphone on. Yeah, starting off great. Anyways, I want to start my first reading vlog this week. And because reading vlogs are like my favorite thing to watch on YouTube, like I can waste a whole lot of time watching them on YouTube. So I thought I wanted to make my own, which I'm really excited about. I like the vlogs that kind of go with some sort of like challenge or theme, but I am going easy on myself for my first one. And this one is going to be pretty much like how much I can actually read in a week, given my current situation and lifestyle, which is stay-at-home mom, which doesn't sound like it would be that hard, but it is. It's really hard to predict how needy my kids are going to be at any given time. Like sometimes my son is the type of kid who will just like go off and play, and he doesn't want anything to do with me, and he just wants to be left alone to play. And that's when I can get a lot of reading done. But other times he wants to snuggle, he wants me to play with him. It just depends. So it is hard to predict, but we're going to give it a go. I really just want to see how much I can actually accomplish in like a regular week. In terms of what I'd like to accomplish this week, I would like to read the rest of The Immortalists. I'm not super far into it, but I really would like to finish it. It's super good so far, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. And I would also like to start and get as far as I can in my next book on my TBR, which is Dorothy Must Die. I am actually sticking to my TBR this time. I don't normally do that. I'm more of a mood reader. Like I'll finish a book and then I'll say, oh, what am I in the mood for next? But I actually do want to stick to a TBR this month, so that's another little change for myself. This was a gift from a friend, and he loved it so much that he gave it to me. And all I know about it is that it is the continuation of the story of the Wizard of Oz, like what happens after that, and that's all I know. So, and Dorothy apparently must die. So I'm assuming she's the bad guy. Just a thought. But I'm really excited about it. I doubt I'll read the whole thing. It is a little bit chunky. It's not outrageously long. Let me see. It's got 452 pages, so it's not outrageous, but I doubt I'll be able to finish The Immortalists and read the entirety of Dorothy Must Die. I do have 2 other books on my TBR. They're super short, so I'm hopeful that I can get them in, but I just don't know. So here is the adventure of Mommy getting in some reading time this week. Here we go. Right, so vlog day 1. It is like 11 a.m. I have done no reading so far, but that's because my son is at preschool. My daughter just got up and just kind of doing some work around the house and trying to get this day rolling. I can't believe it's already 11 o'clock. Some days just fly by. Alright, well, it's almost 1 p.m. and I still haven't had any time to read today. I don't even have makeup on. It's been, just one of those days where it's just like non-stop mom life. One kid needs something, then right when I'm finished with that, the other kid needs something. So I swear I'm gonna read today, hopefully very soon. I am finished with Daniel's story. I don't know how I feel about it. I love all of the characters so far, but his specific story I think is a little bit, I don't know. I wasn't as like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen next with his story? But I did think it was a necessary character flaw of his. I do think. So I'm not going to go too far into that because I don't want to ruin the suspense or the surprise for you. I think what's unique about this book is how it's written in 4 major parts. Like, it's not, I really expected it to be like one chapter, this character, and then the second chapter is this character. And so, which is typical of a lot of different novels, but this one is like part 1 is Simon, part 2 is Clara, part 3 is Daniel, and part 4 is Varya. So it's all 4 of the siblings and their specific story in its own, like almost like a mini story or a mini book in and of itself. So I think that's really unique. I really like the writing style. I think I'm going to like Varya's story, but we'll have to see how that goes. I did wind up able to read about 2 hours today, which is like kind of good. It wasn't like it was choppy. It wasn't all at once, so that, you know, but it is what it is. Okay, everyone, it's midnight. I might read a few more pages in bed, but I think I'm gonna call it a night. Both children are finally in bed. Little Miss just got put down. I think she might still be awake. I can kind of hear her in the baby monitor, but she's not crying, so it's a good sign. I wound up getting in a whole hour of reading. I'm so shocked. 1 whole hour. That's so good. Again, I might read a little bit before, like as I'm laying in bed, but I am now officially on page 285 out of 347. So I won't be finishing it tonight, unfortunately. I am now in the midst of Varya's story. Daniel's story has now ended, and that one was very interesting. I have a lot of thoughts on this book that I definitely will be sharing. I think that it is beautifully written. I love each and every sibling and their story, and how this really fascinating concept is being told in so many different ways. I'm really impressed. So I've never read anything by this author before. I did look her up, and she has another novel that came out prior to this book, The Immortalists, but I don't know anything about it. So if you haven't read The Immortalists, it's super good. Like, I'm really, really digging this book. Yeah. But I want to stay up and finish it. Look, it's not that much. Like, it's pitiful. But we have another stay-at-home mom day ahead of me tomorrow. Tomorrow, Disney Plus comes out. That starts. So my son might be binge watching some Disney movies, and I might be reading / also binge watching Disney movies. Have to see how that goes. Hoping to get in a little bit more reading time tomorrow, but we'll see. Okay, so I finished The Immortalists. Disney Plus came out today, so we've been just say hi.
Hi.
We've been watching cartoons, and I've been reading a lot while he watches cartoons. I am not particularly worried about screen time today. Whatever, it's Disney Plus day, so uh-oh. Is that Savannah crying?
No.
Anyways, I finished it. More on that later. I just started Dorothy Must Die. I wound up being able to read like an hour and a half today so far, and it's only 1 o'clock, so I'm feeling really good. Feeling like I could get a lot of reading done with Dorothy Must Die, and but we'll see, because now the baby's crying, and I have a really, really large amount of laundry to fold, so we'll see.
What are you doing, Mommy? What are you doing? What are you doing?
stupid amount of laundry for a second. Like, I felt like I folded laundry all day. But look how cute little baby clothes are. Look how cute. Anything today. Today is day 4. I did wind up reading for probably an hour or so last night, but then I got distracted with the show I'm watching on Netflix. I'm watching the show Schitt's Creek. It's so good. I don't know if anyone else out there has been watching that, but I'm obsessed. Oh, and I've got a little whiny baby right now. Say hi. Oh, scrunch face. All right. BRB. Okay, so trying that again. I got distracted last night, so I didn't wind up reading as much as I would have liked to. I am reading currently Dorothy Must Die, and it's definitely a change of pace from The Immortalist, which I just finished the other day. And I haven't decided how I like it yet, if I do or not. It does seem a little weak in terms of character development, but I am on page 100. So I'm 100 pages in. This is usually as far as I'll give a book. If I absolutely hate it by page 100, I give up. I don't absolutely hate it, so I am going to continue reading it and see how it goes. But so far, the girl, Amy, has very similarly to Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, gotten like sucked up in a tornado and has found herself in Oz, but it is not the Oz that we know and love. It is like this almost like post-apocalyptic like world, and I'm at the part where she actually meets Dorothy, and what it turns out to be is that Dorothy had returned to Oz after her original, like when she, in the movie, when she went back to Kansas, she was sick of her life there and decided to return to Oz. Not sure how yet, if that's even explained. And she is this magical, like, evil dictator. So it's definitely an interesting concept. I don't hate it, but I do feel that the character development is a little weak so far, but it is still early. It's a fairly good sized book. Let me see how many pages are in this. There's over 450 pages, so there's plenty of time to develop some characters, but I have heard really good things about it, so I'm hopeful. I haven't read anything today, and I actually don't feel like watching TV, which I guess is a good thing. So I think I am going to do a little bit of reading while my son is napping. My daughter is happy. She's awake, but she's not upset anymore, so that's a good thing. And we'll see how it goes. The family and I just left the grocery store, and before that we had Christmas photos done. There's the little man. Say hi.
Hi.
Say hi.
Hi.
Now you can say hi.
Hey!
Oh, goodness. So I did not get as much reading done this week as I had hoped, but I did finish The Immortalist, of course, and I think I'm almost halfway done with Dorothy Must Die. Okay, so wrapping up the week, I wound up reading the rest of The Immortalist. I didn't write the page number down, but I did start at the beginning of Clara's story. So let me just go ahead and get to that. So I read from page 103 on to the end of the book, which is 343. And I started Dorothy Must Die, and I read from page 1, of course, to 233. So not too shabby with all I have going on. I do still have 2 more books on my November TBR, and I do believe I will be able to get to them. They're both super short. So I will be reading Tales of the Peculiar by Ransom Riggs, which is a series of short stories that go along with the Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, that world that he's written, where like all the different types of peculiarities, I guess. I believe there are 11 short stories in this. It's really short. It's not even 200 pages, so I will definitely be able to get through this one. After that, I also have The Haunting by Shirley Jackson, which is also very short. It is 246 pages long, so this one will be a quick read as well. And I'm really excited because I think I'm going to watch the show on Netflix after this one. I've heard it's really good. But I mentioned this in my November TBR video. I had no idea this book was this old. It was copyrighted 1959. For some reason, I thought it was newer than that. But anyways, I've got these 2 left on my TBR. So until next time, don't forget to click subscribe and ring that bell.